Is Dallas Jenkins moving away from making a TV show with The Chosen and back into making films? It's hard to say, but over the last 3 seasons, we've seen as the movie theaters have been a really big play for The Chosen to do. We've seen them go in theaters for the few episodes, then more episodes. Now in season 4, we're seeing them do the entire season in theaters. This is a big step and something that's not normally done in TV. Now we've gotten even more information about this from the exclusive TV Guide magazine that is an exclusive Chosen edition. It's really interesting and there's a lot of unique parts here, but this part in particular really piqued my interest. This part is titled An Exciting Future, and while we see Rumi talking here, we also see Jenkins at the bottom here, and this is probably the most important piece. Dallas Jenkins says this: The Chosen is still 7 seasons, but in season 6, we're planning to do a feature film within that season. Same thing with season 7. So some of the mechanics of how we're telling this story are changing, and how we're releasing it are changing, but the plan has remained the same. So what does this even mean? What does this mean that he's going to be doing a feature film in both season 6 and season 7? What does that mean for the episodes? Is he taking a few episodes and morphing them into one like we're seeing now? Is it a different version of doing things? Well, I truly think it is a different version of doing things. I don't think he's just going to take episodes 1, 2, and 3 and then put them together like we're seeing for season 4. I think it is going to be different. It's going to feel different because a TV show is not made, edited, directed exactly like a feature film is. It's different. There's a lot more time that you have to play out longer stories within a feature film, and then TV shows, you get a longer period of time, yes, but they're more segmented over episodes. So it is really interesting to see how this is going to play out, but this isn't the only precedent that we have for this going on in the future. If you're a Star Wars fan like me, you've definitely heard about The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a massive, massive show, probably the biggest Star Wars show in the last several years, if not ever. This show is huge, and especially Grogu, Baby Yoda, who everybody knows there. My wife is obsessed with him. But The Mandalorian has done 3 seasons of television shows through Disney Plus, and they've all done really, really well. The 3rd season was kind of meh, but we won't go into that right now. But for the future of The Mandalorian, they're doing something very similar. The Mandalorian and Grogu journeys to the big screen, and here we see that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actually taking the Mandalorian and putting it in theaters as a feature-length film. Now, this is a TV show that's having a feature-length film. We've seen this in the past with different things. For example, Firefly, if you're a big fan of that, you've seen a feature-length movie that got turned into something really, really amazing for that cult fan base. And we've seen this with other TV shows as well, although pretty rarely. This is a new version of doing this, I think, that's really going to shake up the industry and really help The Chosen to stand out even more than it already has over the last several years, but we're seeing it with other projects as well. Over the last few years, we've seen as other TV shows have been able to put season finales or other episodes in the theaters too, but now we're starting to see that switch. And hey, if you're enjoying this video and you really want to support more Christian media content coming up in the future, we could really use your help over on patreon.com/thesnipelife. This is where we'll put all of our behind the scenes content and the most amount of content for season 4, 5, 6, and 7 of The Chosen. There's going to be so much on there, especially when they start filming season 5. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be amazing, and it's all going to be on patreon.com. That's the best way to help support us and to keep us doing what we're doing here on YouTube. If you like our breakdowns and our reactions and everything else that we do on this channel, it's honestly an amazing way to help us out. Anyway, let's get back to the video. And again, going back to this, it's not just that they're going to put episodes together, but there's going to be feature-length films here, meaning that Dallas really has a big point that he wants to make within these seasons in particular. Now, we know that season 6 is going to talk all about the death of Jesus, the crucifixion of Jesus, and then season 7 is going to be where the resurrection happens, and I believe probably the early church as well. And so there's going to be a lot of really, really important moments, some of the most important moments for Christianity, right, in these seasons, period. And so it makes sense that Dallas would want to make a stamp here, not just make the seasons as we've been told, but also that he's going to do these feature-length films. Now, how does this play out exactly for us as Chosen fans and for this series as a whole? Well, I'm not 100% sure yet. We've got to see how they're going to do it, and I'm sure they don't know all the details either. there. But my guess is a couple of different things. Either they do all the 8 episodes like they've been saying they would, and then they add on top of that a feature film, which would be pretty insane. It would be amazing for content. I'd love to have that much more content. But what I'm guessing is going to happen is that they maybe take off a couple of episodes, but then they add a feature-length film to that. I really hope it's the former. I really hope that they're just adding more content on top of the 8 episodes that we're already getting, though I'm not sure exactly what this is going to look like, so we're just going to have to see as we move forward into this. But I don't think that this is the same thing that we've been seeing. This is obviously something different. So we're going to see literal chosen movies, feature-length movies, coming in season 6 and season 7. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. We've never really seen this in theaters before, and so we're going to be seeing it for the first time with Mandalorian and The Chosen, and I'm sure some other projects are going to start, following suit, especially if it's successful. So my biggest thought is that season 6 is most likely the crucifixion area, and so I wonder if Dallas is wanting to do almost like a challenger to the Passion of the Christ. I know that he doesn't want to do all the gory stuff that comes along with the crucifixion, but I do wonder what the storyline will be there around that moment, because the feature film has to be the climax, right, of season 6, and so that has to do with the crucifixion and what's kind of going on there. And then if season 7 is about the resurrection, is he going to kind of like butt the end of season 6 with the feature film and then the beginning of season 7 with the feature film, or is it going to be the ending of both seasons? I think this could be really, really interesting, even using that feature film to maybe talk about the early church, talk about building what's upcoming there, using characters like Atticus and Quintus and of course the apostles and the disciples of Jesus to see how that early church would grow and continue to do things. It would be really, really interesting to see all of that kind of play out. And maybe that's even used as a kickoff point for other shows as well, which I'm guessing we're going to have. Like, that's definitely been my thought since season 1 of The Chosen, that we're going to see more spin-off shows come from this eventually, after The Chosen is done. Dallas has told us that he is contractually obligated to stay with The Chosen. Other than the Christmas project that he's working on right now, he's not allowed to work on anything else until The Chosen is done. And so I'm sure we're going to see other things kind of play out from there. Anyway, I don't know. We'll have to see, but this is a really interesting piece. Once I get my hands on an actual magazine, I haven't been able to find one near me at all. Once I get my hands on an actual magazine, I'll go through the whole thing and see if there's any other unique pieces here, but this is the one big thing that I heard about from the community. So really, really cool stuff. I'm excited to see the future of what's going on, and we'll definitely be covering everything coming up in season 4 of The Chosen and beyond as we get into next year, and all the stuff that's happening throughout season 4, 5, 6, and 7. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, if you want to follow more Chosen content and other Christian media content, which we'll be jumping into very soon. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.